You're listening to the online edition of Across the Pond with me, Richard Morris. Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, it is not possible to play the music which is announced and featured in this programme. You'll still hear us announce the songs, but the programme will then jump straight to the next part. If you're very clever, you could pause this recording, play the songs yourself, and then hit play on this programme again for added effect. This last suggestion is optional, however. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to the February-March edition of Across the Pond, and there's going to be a reason as to why it's February-March in a moment, which we're going to explain. It's because both of my guests have been ill on separate weeks and so can't record anything. But there we go. In the studio I have...
This is Luke Lowrey.
Who's trying to do a terrible impression of me.
No.
Were you not?
Nope.
Oh, that's awkward. Okay, and we also have...
You're kind of self-centered, but nobody's doing impressions of you. Suzie Sunshine over here.
Thank you very much.
I don't even sound like
you know what they say about assuming, Richard.
No, I'm just... Because you do so many... You do so frequent
I do.
impressions of me. I just presumed that you would be, you know?
What?
That kind of... Don't. Seriously, don't.
What?
Don't.
Oh.
I get enough of this from our station manager all the time. Sean is constantly mocking my accent. It's ridiculous. But there we go.
That's what us Americans do.
So in
America.
this month's... Don't. So in this month's edition, we're going to be talking about Valentine's Day, the Harlem Shake, which is that trend
So fun.
that everyone loves,
It's a thing, you know.
and the soup or bowl. Now, there's reasons as to why we have to say soup or bowl.
The
and it's
big
because,
game.
Yeah, or the big game. And it's because you can't say the real title of it on air, otherwise you have to pay the money, apparently. I only found this out a couple of weeks ago, so it's a good job I found that out before we recorded this.
Oh, I just found this out as you told me.
Exactly, no one seems to know about this, so that's a good thing. I'm pleased about that.
I knew.
Good. So, Valentine's Day was, well, we are recording this quite late, so it was a little while ago now,
Just a bit.
maybe over a week ago.
Still memorable.
This is why it's February-March edition. You both shouldn't have been ill.
Valentine's Day
It
caused it, I
happens.
think. Too much sugar and love.
Sugar and cold. A lot of cold.
Okay. So one of the things I wasn't expecting to see was how seriously people took it over here. I mean, I know it's a fairly serious holiday anyway, because people do kind of like go a bit overboard for it. But I wasn't expecting to see quite the level of like student involvement that I saw.
I feel like it starts at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Like in elementary school when we're young. There's always the Valentine's Day dance, or you bring the little cards to your classrooms. You always have a Valentine's in school, so it's kind of ingrained.
So that thing that happens on Mean Girls with Hugo and Coco, does that actually happen?
Oh, things like that happen.
Oh, really?
All the time.
I always thought that was just a thing for the film.
You know what's messed up? No, not even close. But you know what's messed up about it? A lot of times they do it because they don't want anybody to feel lonely on a holiday.
Yeah.
But then they end up, all the popular kids get lots of Valentine's Day things, and if nobody likes you, then you get nothing. None for you, Glenn Coco.
That's just the story of my life, though. I've never received a Valentine's
Oh,
card.
Richard.
I've never received a Valentine's
Ever?
card.
Not even from the parents?
Well, I strongly suspect that the two Valentine's cards I used to receive when I was younger for like years and years and years, up until exactly the age of 13, were probably from my parents. But I've never had this confirmed to me.
See, they care.
Well, yes, but the fact that they stopped so abruptly at the age of 13 does kind of make me think like, oh, it probably was my parents. I don't know, though. I've never actually found out. I might have to have an intervention with them and find out.
Is Valentine's Day as materialistic there as it is here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, there's a huge thing about, like, buying chocolates and gifts and roses and things. And even my dad, who is the least romantic person ever, will probably buy my mum some roses, maybe.
So
Either that
sweet.
or we'll get something from the garden for her. So
Pluck it out this morning.
Exactly. But no, I was just surprised by how seriously it was taken, really. I didn't expect to see it as such a big deal. But I suppose that
It is a big
Americans
deal.
always do everything with so much like enthusiasm. So,
Pizzazz.
yeah, you really do, actually.
I think it's more fun that way. You seem to hate it, but I don't know. I feel like we put a lot into every holiday. Like, we put a lot of thought and a lot of effort and a lot of everything. I know I did handmade cards. Like, I designed them.
That's
and
the
printed
sweetest
them.
thing.
Yeah. And my boyfriend got, handmade stuff.
Well, I
She's
mean,
all smiling.
You have to understand. I am unusually unenthusiastic about things. I mean, most British people are more enthusiastic about things than I am.
How'd we get you?
Why did you get me? I don't know. I don't even know how this happened. I'm just here. It's a long story.
It's great. It's really great.
I'm
though.
sure I love it.
One thing that I realized this Valentine's Day this year, women, if they don't have Valentine's Day dates, they go out in huge groups and they just have a lot of fun together.
Girls' night.
Yeah, forget the guys. We're just going to go out together, have fun, dance a little.
I noticed that.
Well, it's also known as Single Awareness Day.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So all the people who don't have a significant other are lonely, and they're reminded that having a significant other is actually apparently really important. It's the thing that you're supposed to have.
Mm-hmm.
I think, though, that Valentine's Day has really always been a massive tragedy because we were Googling this just before you arrived. Do you know where Valentine's Day... We had a good Google. Do you know who actually how the original Valentine's Day started?
Didn't it have something to do with Saint Valentine or a saint or something?
Yes, but he was about to be executed, and he wrote to the woman that he loved, from your dearest Valentine or whatever, and that's how it started, or something. It was something like that.
Valentine's Day.
So it has
cards and
always
things.
been all about tragedy.
Dear God, do you have to ruin everything? Now we're going to probably talk about the Grimm brothers stories. All my fairy tales as a kid are just going to go down the drain.
It's a British thing. It's what we do.
What, is Santa not real either?
Am I allowed to say that on air? Are we allowed to answer that? I don't know. Oh well.
Don't answer that.
We'll just let it be.
We'll let that one slide. We'll let that one slide.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna start. We're gonna play our first two songs now,
Cool.
and we're gonna play the first one. We're gonna play is Icona Pop, and this is that song that everyone really likes because we were discussing this last week.
Okay.
Me and you, and it's
I like it.
It's great. It's Icona Pop. I love it. And then we're gonna play Kesha Come On, which is her new single.
Oh, yes, Kesha.
And more Kesha just for you.
I love her.
Especially after what you said in the December edition, was it?
She's dirty, but I love her.
So we're going to play Kesha... No, we're going to play Icona Pop, I Love It, and then we're going to play Kesha, Come On. So enjoy. Okay, so that was Icona Pop, I Love It, and Kesha, Come On. We had a debate in the studio about how I should be saying Icona Pop, because apparently Americans say Icona Pop.
Yeah, why not?
Say it with the American accent, though.
Icona Pop.
You see, it's Icona. Anyway, and that was the
See,
first...
it is Icona.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not, though.
Okay.
Okay, and that was the first time that Suzie has ever heard that song. What did you think?
I thought it was very poppy.
It is pretty poppy.
Are you sure? Because your original reaction face when it first started playing wasn't that.
Okay, because it sounded like candy bubblegum. Like, I don't know if I like candy bubblegum.
It's great. It's a fantastic song.
I feel like a Barbie is just singing. I feel like the video should be just Barbies in a Barbie playhouse. Just get pumped.
Makes a lot of sense when she points it out like that.
I can
serious.
actually see what you mean. It's
I'm a
got that
visionary.
level of like pop.
It does. It makes me happy every time I hear it. You know?
It's great.
I'm
I
gonna
have
hear it on a commercial. I already know it's gonna be a Barbie commercial, and I'm gonna turn it on. I'm gonna be like, Richard, told you.
I have a friend who went to go see them live in Atlanta in
Ooh,
December. And
What?
and
didn't know that.
apparently they're like really, really, really good live.
I would believe so.
Apparently they're fantastic live.
They look good.
Do they look
Yeah.
like Barbies?
Yeah. What?
So do they look like Barbies?
Not so much.
I
They're
don't
pretty
think so.
ladies though,
Yeah, they're attractive, but I don't think they're not like Barbies.
and they dance together and sing together.
Yeah, and they do all kinds of stuff together.
Oh my gosh.
So the next song we're gonna play, and I'm not actually saying this because we're about to go into another song break. I'm just saying this because this is going to lead us beautifully onto our next topic of conversation. It's Harlem Shake by Boa.
I love that. Oh, Richard, I love that.
How do you say it then?
I have no clue how to say it.
It's
Bear.
Boa. Is how I've been saying it to people.
You sound
Because
like a
it's
sheep.
Baaauer.
Yes.
And I mean, I studied German GCSE, So I should know German in secondary school for you Americans, in case you don't understand what that means.
Okay.
General Certificate of Secondary Education is what it actually stands for.
Fancy.
Sounded so much better in your accent.
And it means that you basically studied that until the age of 16. That's what a GCSE is. So I studied German GCSE, and I should know how to pronounce that, but even I go "Bah" every single time I see.
Well, at the end of the Harlem Shake videos, there's the elongated part where everything slows down, and pretty much it sounds like it's the name. Bruh.
Do you think it does? I'm not sure.
I think so.
Okay. Well, anyway, I was actually in the UWG, the official University of West Georgia Harlem Shake last night. Yeah, the official University of West Georgia basketball Harlem Shake. And you can find it on YouTube if you search University of West Georgia basketball Harlem Shake.
Were you wearing a crazy costume?
I wasn't, but I was wearing my fantastic white jumper, which you've seen before, which means that everyone can spot me.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah, like I'm on the third row as well, and I do this absolutely crazy dance.
I'm not even surprised.
It's incredible. But I don't know how this whole thing started. Like, I don't know how the whole Harlem Shake thing started. I don't know.
Well, there was the one video that came out with the guy with the latex, well, not latex, like the bodysuits on. And that one wasn't so intense. But the second one that was a parody of that video came out. And that one is the one that every one of them is based off of. That one's really crazy.
Have you seen the University of Texas Harlem Shake?
I don't believe so. Are there a lot of people in it?
Incredible. Well, you can clearly see that what they thought is everything is bigger in Texas. We're going to do the biggest Harlem Shake we can.
Oh, of course.
And they're all out there, like, on this huge, like, lawn type thing. And it's just, like, the single mascot. And then this entire lawn is just full of people.
Oh, my God.
Like, it's literally, like, it looks almost to be, like, maybe 1,000 people. It's so many people there. It's incredible.
I love the really big ones, because you could just point out every single person that's doing something kind of crazy with weird costumes on.
Yeah, you maybe watch these a little bit too intensely, but yeah. Well, and
on my birthday morning,
yes,
I just spent a good 2 hours watching all of these videos.
Why?
In bed, just laughing out loud.
I think actually my favorite one so far is the University of Virginia one. Have you seen that one? I think I was showing one of my friends that in the office yesterday.
We're not friends.
Ooh.
Just kidding. No,
Thanks.
I'm just kidding.
They are friends.
We are best friends.
They laugh and giggle together.
He doesn't laugh. What are you talking about?
I don't laugh. I'm British.
Yeah. No, I actually haven't really seen any of the Harlem Shake videos. The only one I saw, there was one where somebody was dressed up like Spider-Man and all these other latex things. I don't understand the craze. Like, why did it?
No, I mean, no one understands it. That's the entire point. It's like any internet meme. I mean, it's technically classified as an internet meme now. Any internet meme, it doesn't really make any sense. That's the entire point of it. So it's just one of those things. But there we go.
And there we have it.
There we have it.
I saw one Harlem Shake, and I think it was a garage of some sort, maybe for racing cars. And when everything breaks out, there was the crazy waving arm mans.
Yes.
That stand out in front of things and
yes.
just like wave around. He was out there.
That's awesome.
I had one of those.
Where did I see? Oh, yeah. So, no, I was going to tell you about University of Virginia one. There's like a single professor standing out in front of the main school building. And like the main school building has all these steps that go up to it on this amazing kind of like thing. And he's just standing there just by himself, like properly dancing. And then these huge steps are just filled with people when it goes to the second part, and there must be, I would say there's at least like 800 people there just like all dancing.
That's miraculous.
And you can look at every single one on the stairs.
Awesome.
And like point out what they're doing individually.
That's
it's
really
great.
Cool. I like it as far as just bringing people together, like school events. I think that's really cool.
That's such an American thing to say. Bringing people together.
I just completely agreed with her.
Yeah, I know, but it's just an American thing to say. Oh, bringing people together.
Well, it's only because I feel like, this is probably an American ideal, whatever, but I feel like colleges, you're so busy getting through and you're so busy doing your own thing that a lot of times people don't take the time to connect with their fellow students and really just get out there and do something crazy. I mean, we're in college. Pretty soon we're going to have to, have real lives. Might as well live it
My
up.
eyes want to roll right now.
Don't let them.
I was really proud when I saw that West Georgia actually got together and completed not one but two Harlem
No,
Shakes.
there's too many. Because the thing is that there was never really an official announcement of any official one.
Yes.
And so different student organizations decided, oh, we're going to do one. And so now there's like 5 on YouTube because everyone's done their own one. But the basketball one that happened last night was supposed to be the official one. But I don't know. It doesn't seem to be official because it wasn't a load of people that went. So it's kind of a bit disappointing, really. It was only a fairly sort of small number.
It was a scheduling error.
There was a scheduling error because it was supposed to be on Saturday, but then it was moved to Thursday. And loads of people would have been able to do the Saturday one, but one of those things.
Well, I think your viewers should totally check it out.
My viewers?
The listeners.
The listeners.
Sorry, Rich.
Yes. Actually, you can find it if you search University of West Georgia basketball Harlem Shake.
Yep.
I think that's the way of finding it. The current version that's up there is actually the unedited version, but at the time this program goes out, it will be the edited version because this program isn't live, and I've told this to people a million times, and people still don't believe me. And even last week, I still got tweets whilst this was being played out of people reacting to what we were saying live.
Oh, that's great.
So I'm pleased that people are listening, and I'm
course.
pleased that people are responding.
Hi, people.
Yeah, hi people. It's nice to hear that you're listening. Do you see what I did there? Nice to hear that they're listening. Fantastic. Wasn't that brilliant?
You're a dweeb.
Oh man, you're intelligent.
I know.
You got it going on.
That British sarcasm. Anyway, so we're going to leave you now with... Not going to leave you. Why do I always say this? Right, we're going to go to Harlem Shake by Burr, followed by Swedish House Mafia featuring Knife Party Antidote, which I think I played on the first ever
I
November.
love Knife Party.
It's fantastic. This song is fantastic. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite gym songs. I listen to this when I'm at the gym.
Get pumped.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Harlem Shake and Antidote. Enjoy. So that was Harlem Shake by insert artist name here, because I refuse to say that again, followed by Swedish House Mafia featuring Knife Party Antidote. And again, I'm going to talk about the next song break we're about to do, but that's because the song is really relevant and we want to talk about it, and that is Thrift Shop by Macklemore. Opinions, please.
I like it. Well, I thought the song was funny, honestly, when I first heard it. But as an artist, I really like Macklemore. Like that, I feel like that's kind of disappointing that that's the mainstream song that he has. Because there's so many other great songs that he has.
It's his radio
about real
song.
issues.
You know what I mean? It's his radio song. The one that comes out, everybody loves it, but he's pretty brilliant in everything else also.
He is. He talks about like homosexuality. He talks about like everything you could possibly think of, and it's really honest. I think that's why I like it.
I think when I first heard it, I didn't know quite how to react. I thought to myself, this is a really catchy song, but I didn't realize like the lyrics or anything. And then when it's the tune that's really catchy. And I didn't really listen to the lyrics or anything, but even when you listen to the lyrics, they actually, because he's taking the mick out of so much stuff.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And he isn't even signed to a music label, and yet the music video for it is so good.
You know what? That's actually really interesting. There are actually a lot of artists that are underground. They aren't signed at all. Like I can think of a lot of hip hop artists as of right now, but that's the reason that there are so many mixtapes that drop. That's because they're just not signed, but they want to get their music out. And I think it's also coming from this whole idea that mainstream music isn't the thing to do anymore. It's the hipster craze. Mm-hmm. So now everyone wants to just make music, and whether they're signed or not, they're going to produce it because screw a label.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really need a label. If you have the friends, if you have the networks, then you can come out with some pretty good stuff without the contracts and whatnot.
I was just surprised by how good the video was. Because, I mean, you always expect that a music video will only ever be really good when it's shot by the professionals and the music label.
Pretty high quality.
But yeah, it's really good. And the concept behind it is really well thought through. And it's just really, it's actually quite an amusing video to watch. And it's like really high quality stuff. Like he's clearly really thought it through. And I'm very pleased that someone who isn't signed is actually making it, their own way.
Yeah. I mean, that also has to do with a lot of videographers that aren't professional. They're kind of on the same stream as the underground artists, where they just want to first off build their portfolio, and second, they just love doing it. So they're going to find whoever they can, because you can't always necessarily say, hey, Jay-Z, let me film your video, you know? So it's a lot of underground stuff, just trying to, I guess, set yourself up before going mainstream and professional.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what you were going to say something about, like, him being in some magazine or something, weren't you?
He was in the recent freshman edition of XXL, which is a rap magazine with a bunch of other artists who are coming up right now, like Iggy Azalea and Danny Brown, who I love, and Roscoe. Other people were on it.
What were they saying about him?
They appreciate the younger generation of these freshmen, because Macklemore is definitely older than these rappers. They were just saying about, how they appreciate his music, and they've been listening to him for a while,
How old is he?
He's like in his 30s, I believe.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So he's not like a young rapper. He's been doing it for a really long time.
That's definitely older than most artists, because I always find it amazing that, like, Chris Brown's still 22 or something, and Rihanna's like 24, isn't she? I know Rihanna's 24 because she's the same age as my brother.
I just know, I remember Chris Brown coming out when I was in middle school. Like, someone was like, do you have Chris Brown on your iPod? Excuse me, miss? All those corny songs.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
what was his first song? I've completely forgotten. I've actually
Run It, I think.
Oh, it was Run It.
I don't think that was. I don't remember that. I don't
Oh.
remember that in the UK.
It's such a different time back then.
I tried to remember what his first song was
Back
in
when
the
kids
UK.
played outside.
I'm gonna have to Google this now, because I can't remember what his first song was in the UK, but I'm sure it wasn't Run It.
Well, let's introduce the next song.
Thanks. So actually, having talked about Macklemore for 5 minutes, here's Thrift Shop by Macklemore, and then we're going to beautifully blend this so that we then go on to Gangnam Style by Psy, because that's how I'm going to try and do this. It's going to probably fail, but let's try and mix these two together. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be fantastic.
That's great.
This is going to be the best music mixing you've ever heard between two songs.
Let's do
two
this.
completely different genres. So let's do this and enjoy. Okay, so that was Thrift Shop by Macklemore and Gangnam Style by Psy, and that was so beautifully edited together.
Mm-hmm. Every time you say Macklemore, I think you're saying Michael Moore.
Macklemore.
Okay.
Is it the accent? Macklemore.
It is the accent. It's always the accent.
It's always the accent.
And I love it.
You know what? I still really like Gangnam Style. That's why I played it. I still really like that song.
Same here.
It's so catchy, and I'm so glad that it's still getting views. The last time I checked, it was on like 1,300,000,000 or something.
1,300,000,000?
Yeah, literally. 1,300,000,000.
That's quite a number.
That is quite a number. It's also quite difficult to say on air, so the fact that I've just said it twice without too much difficulty is quite amazing.
I applaud you.
Mm-hmm. I
Thank you
also
so much.
applaud.
So, our final topic of discussion before we leave you today
Dun, dun, dun.
is the game, the football game.
The big game.
The
The
big
final
game.
game.
The game that happened to be broadcast in the UK. I didn't realise it was, but it's shown on BBC Two.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you think, do you guys actually care about American football?
Well, I know that all of my friends, I gathered from what all of my friends were like tweeting and status updating at the time, because of course it's on really late in the UK. I mean, you're talking like it's on like 1 or 2 a.m. So most people out of my friends who were watching it were quite drunk after a night out anyway, because it's on a weekend. And I think most people were mainly bothered about the halftime show, because the thing is...
Bothered?
Yeah, like they were mostly...
worried about it.
No, they weren't worried. They were mostly excited about seeing that.
Okay.
And I think, as well, it must be a strange experience for us to watch in the UK, because I've never seen the UK coverage. I've only ever seen the US coverage from this year. Mm-hmm. And apparently, whenever you have an advert break, because the BBC doesn't have an advert break, they go to British commentators during the ad breaks.
Oh, this is great.
So we get the CBS commentators, or we had the CBS commentators, and then randomly these British people will kick in when there's just adverts. And apparently during the ad breaks that you have, we show just like random shots of the field and things, and just like, and they just talk over it. And the thing is that the British commentators don't really know what's going on. So they just kind of talk like, oh, this is a really good game. Like, that was basically all they were saying.
Like, this player is stretching.
Yeah, this player is stretching, and it's like rugby, but it's not. is basically what they
but
said.
it's not.
But it's not. So yeah, that's
They're like, look at those pads. What girls on the field? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, but we don't have pads in rugby. You know,
Of course.
they actually throw themselves properly into the action in the UK
Properly.
sports. Yeah,
That's awesome.
you know.
Yeah. It sounds actually really exciting. No, I always wanted to play rugby, but then I was told I was not allowed because I'm frail. But, Americans and
Build
their
up
pads and stuff.
some muscle. Get some muscle on you.
Yeah, I want to get like Richard.
I'm not. No,
That's why it was a joke.
No, that was hilarious. That was absolutely hilarious. I'm so pleased you made that joke. But
So,
no,
like-
I think the thing I noticed about it was the adverts. Everyone takes the adverts so seriously. It's like a part of the. It's almost like a part of the game, really.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
But I
what's
thought-
the point? What's
What
the point
what
of
else is the
watching
point?
I don't understand why you would watch the big game
The bigger.
without the commercials. That's the best part. Like, I literally, even though
Well,
I
the
didn't watch the
BBC
whole
can't
thing,
show adverts
Mm-hmm.
Well, why not?
because it doesn't. It never shows adverts ever.
Well, it should. It's part of the program.
No, you can't show. You can't just say, "Oh, let's just watch some." And also, the American advertiser would never pay for the amount of money for any overseas viewers to see it.
Well, then whoever's listening, should go YouTube the videos.
Well,
Actually,
not
they
this
are
year's though. Yeah, this year's adverts were not that great.
Nah, some of them I liked, but for the most part, no. But last
There have been
year's
some
and the
really
year
good.
before,
Yeah, last year's was great.
Did I miss a really good one last year?
There was a Jerry Seinfeld one, and it was about automobiles. You know how he loves his automobiles. It was really hilarious. I think there was like a jetpack at the end of the commercial.
Oh, yeah.
It was just really good.
You just have to watch them. Just pull up on my YouTube there.
The one that was really controversial this year was that attractive model kissing that nerdy guy on the GoDaddy advert.
Oh, I saw that one.
And everyone was like, "Oh, this is so controversial. Why is that controversial? I don't understand why that's controversial. Like that an
Maybe
attractive
it's-
woman can find a nerdy guy attractive. Why is that?"
Maybe not that, although it probably is, and that's ridiculous. But it was pretty sexual.
It was
a sexual kiss. Very
It was-
sensual.
Wait,
Yeah.
Which one was for that? That was for GoDaddy?
That was for GoDaddy.
Okay, because right now I'm thinking of the one last year. There was a car commercial where this guy was like salivating over this hot girl and like walking up to her all sexually and everything, and then goes to kiss her and she turns into a car, like a really hot car. Like,
Yes.
it's a really funny commercial.
I think my favorite one from last year's actually was because I remember seeing this in the UK because this was shown before all movies started at the theatre, and that was the Volkswagen one with the little kid that's Darth Vader and he tries to do the Force against
Oh, yeah,
the car.
that's a
I
good
love
one.
that one. It's great, and apparently that's one of the most viewed. I think it actually is the most viewed advert on YouTube, like because so many people liked it.
So the game, there were two teams that played some sports.
And they passed an inflated bit of leather up and down a patch of grass for 2 hours.
Did you guys have a team you were
And there was a
rooting for?
power cut. There was a power
Ravens.
cut.
There was a power cut.
There was a power cut, and it stopped for a while, and then it continued for a bit, and then one of the teams won. It's basically how I view sport.
Oh, Rich.
Oh yes, that's you see that's the thing. There's only one sport I take seriously, and that's tennis.
Oh, of course.
And even then, it's only Wimbledon.
Oh, I love some tennis.
Tennis is
We've discussed this.
tennis is fantastic.
Oh, it's great. Such a gentleman's sport.
It really is. It's great. I absolutely love it. And it's just, there's something surprisingly relaxing about watching tennis. You can just sit and watch. Every single
But then
year.
also, you can get really into it.
And every single year Wimbledon is on, I literally sit there for about 2 weeks, pretty much just watching. Not quite wall to wall, but about as wall to wall as you can get without
sure.
becoming a telly addict. Just for those 2 weeks.
So, what about, what do you guys think of Beyonce?
The halftime show.
Good
Queen.
old B.
Well, at least you didn't lip sync.
Yeah.
There was a whole bunch of different controversies that came out of that, though. Well, first off, Beyonce is ridiculously popular, ridiculously. In Atlanta, I heard a news story, and it was about somebody was selling their kids for Beyonce tickets.
Oh,
No.
Gee whiz.
Yes, got arrested for trying to
Arrest-
sell their child for a Beyonce ticket.
Oh, no.
Seriously.
It's not a joke.
That's awful.
I just don't know what to say about this world these days. Well, I guess it happens for people try to sell their kids all the
Second
time.
biggest controversy to that, I think, was the fact that Kelly Rowland and Michelle Williams' mics were clearly turned down.
Oh, yes, they were turned down. Okay, not only were they turned down, Destiny's Child came back for the Super Bowl performance. Also, they have another song out. Not really a fan, but it just got produced and it's out.
You know, it's Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
Grew up on that stuff.
But there are just so many jokes about Michelle, because Kelly Rowland is, making her own music. But Michelle, apparently, I heard she was on Broadway for a little bit, but, mainstream, whatever, hasn't heard anything from her in years. So there were jokes like, who's going to cover her shift? And
Oh, no.
and then Keisha Cole actually was on Twitter and she said something about, oh yeah, Beyonce's performance was wonderful. And then why did they let Michelle sing or something like that? Because she
Really?
always messes everything up.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow. That's horrible.
She is an awkward one, though.
She was always, you could always tell that Beyonce and Kelly Rowland would go and do really well. I mean, Kelly Rowland obviously hasn't done as well as Beyonce.
Yeah,
but
she's coming out. She's got a lot of stuff
But,
going
Michelle
on.
Williams just kind of disappeared.
Well,
And
she does, she does, gospel records.
Does she? You see, I don't know that. We don't really get gospel stuff in the UK.
My mother told me that Destiny's Child actually started with gospel music, and that's why my mom doesn't like Beyonce anymore, because she said that she got trashy and she doesn't want to be a part of it.
Married Jay-Z and just kind of got a little dirty.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I like them.
But Beyonce is queen bee, regardless.
Every time.
It was a really well put together halftime show. I was watching it and I didn't think I was going to be that impressed, but all the choreography and the movement and the studios and not the studios. but
After Madonna's
set.
complete letdown on my part,
God.
I think it was a complete letdown last year, Madonna.
Yes. Oh, and didn't Christina Aguilera do one in 2010 that was awful?
Maybe.
No, I think she sang the...
She sang the national anthem. That
And
was
she
it.
messed up
was
the words.
Awful. She didn't even know the words.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which, of course, really irritated Americans. Because
Yeah.
do you know how awkward it is for me to go to basketball games and stuff? And it's and I have to stand there during the national anthem, but I don't pledge. So I have to stand, but then not do anything. So I have to awkwardly stand there with
Yep.
my hands in my
Everybody's
pockets.
like,
It's
anarchist.
really, and everyone looks at me like, what's wrong with you? But I can't I don't pledge to your country because it's not my country. It's really weird.
Could be.
It's not
as a
though.
friend,
We can adopt
I can
you.
understand. I understand, Rich.
I don't-
Thanks
Yeah.
for feeling my pain.
I feel it.
Anyway, we've reached the end of our time for this month's edition.
Are we playing more music?
Yeah, we are playing more music. Well, I mean, we've reached the end of the time.
Okay.
So we're
Okay,
going to
good.
leave you with music.
I
But
love
this
it.
is Luke's last ever
Oh
episode.
yeah, I'm leaving. I'm moving to San Diego, and I guess I will see you guys next time.
As and when that is.
And there's you'll
One
see
day.
me. Maybe you out there in the airwaves will hear me again. We all hope.
Well, if you become a very famous DJ, I'm sure.
Ooh,
we
I would
can.
love it. And then I'll just move to the UK.
Any potential music producers who are actually listening, he's actually really good. So
I'm getting there.
employ him
It's
because
been
he's really
it's been
good.
a couple months, and I think I'm learning.
Yeah, he's actually really good.
It's
But
been a great time.
well, it's been a pleasure
Here.
having you on the program.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to find someone that's going to replace you now, which is going to be really awkward and strange.
I appreciate
but
the opportunity, Richard.
We're going to have to do auditions and everything and find
You know
out.
how we hate people.
Yeah, and you know how I hate people, especially Americans. So I'm going to find this really difficult to try and replace you. But, we're just going to have to hold auditions. I'm going to be
Just
like
have to.
Simon Cowell, and after they introduce themselves, I'm just going to be like,
Can
that
I be,
was awful.
J-Lo?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
of
can.
course.
Yeah, you can be J-Lo, or you can be Nicki Minaj if you want to be. But
Oh, dear God, no. I don't know why. She doesn't have any musical talent as far as singing. It's just, why is she on there?
So with that, we're going to leave you with Nicki Minaj. No, we're not. We are going to leave you with Fall Out Boy featuring 2 Chainz. My songs Know What You Did in the Dark.
Yeah, that's
However,
one.
I've listened to this song about 4 times now, and I still can't find the 2 Chainz part. I don't know where he
He's-
comes into the song.
He does it. He's just in the video.
He's just, okay. So,
He just
yeah,
makes an
it's
appearance.
Fall Out Boy. My songs Know What You Did in the Dark.
Okay.
Followed by Candy by Robbie Williams, which is a song that Americans don't know. I'm being looked at blankly right now.
No.
But it's a song that's really popular in the UK, and it's really catchy, and I hope you enjoy it. And thank you for being on the show, Luke. It's been a pleasure. And we'll see you next month. I'm pointing at Suzie now. We'll see you next month. No one's
Alright.
going to miss you.
If you must.
But there we go. And bye-bye. Enjoy these two songs.